Hi guys, welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy. You're doing well. This is day 2 of my Live Miss series. Today we're going to talk about the Watts case, the Chris Watts and Shanann Watts case. And we're going to talk about the infamous Nutgate scandal. I thought that we would divide it. And today we're going to talk about the grandparents and their reaction to Nutgate. All of them had something to say about it. And all of them said something pretty quickly about it when they were interviewed. They didn't wait to be asked about it. They volunteered the information. I have the little bird off in the background. Hopefully he'll settle down. If he doesn't settle down, I'm going to have to bring him out here. I hope it doesn't bother people that they hear a little bird in the background. If it does, there's not really anything I can do about it. But I'm doing the 25 days of Live Miss, and I thought we would do something every day, a live, because doing lives, I love doing lives. It's like my most favorite thing to do, except for the fact that if I don't do them, then I get nervous when I start doing them again. It doesn't feel like second nature. I feel like I'm stuttering. I feel like I'm saying and but this is just going to help me calm it down and get back into the habit of doing lives to get that muscle going again. Yesterday we talked about Lori Vallow. She was moved to Arizona. So if you're interested in Lori Vallow, you can go to yesterday's. I'll put it in the description, or I'll link it somehow somewhere. Today we're talking about Nutgate. Some of the other cases that we're going to talk about is Eva Braun and World War II with Hitler. We're going to be talking about the Gypsy Rose and Eugenia Cooney. I feel like there's a connection there. And we're going to talk about it. Both mothers, I believe, are sick. And Sarah Boone. And I don't know, if you have a case that you want me to talk about during the 25 days, let me know and we can do that. Okay. So if you could give this live a thumbs up, it just helps me dance out into the algorithm. It's a free way to help me out and it's really appreciated. Here we go. Once upon a time in the Watts family kingdom, a major conflict dubbed Nutgate occurred. It all began when Shanann and Cindy clashed over Cece's nut allergy and a cup of ice cream. The issue revolved around the possibility of the ice cream containing nuts or being made near nut products. The narrative takes an unexpected turn as each grandparent narrates a distinct version of how the Nutgate saga unfolded. However, one thing is clear, it was the final family dispute and was given the lasting moniker of Nutgate. First up, we're going to take a look at Sandy Ruszczyk's response to Nutgate. And then we'll go into Frank Ruszczyk's response to Nutgate. And then we will move into the Watts. So meet Sandy Ruszczyk, the mother of Shanann Watts. In a 10-page statement to Detective Dave Baumover, Sandy references Nutgates on pages 7 and 8. So I thought we would read page 7 and 8. Hold on, let me get to it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So Sandy wrote this 10-page letter, and we're only going to be starting in at page 7 because she only talks about it through page 7 and page 8. So really it's only a page. And she was talking about how Shanann had come down to North Carolina and they were all thrilled about it. She says, Shanann stayed the week here, then weekends with Chris's parents. The first weekend was great with Chris's dad and family. However, the following weekend was a different story. Saturday was rough for Shanann. She was protecting her children from peanuts in every form, ice cream, a bowl full of nuts, and open razor blades just laying around the house. Shanann called her father and said, come pick me up now, please. Shanann said, Cindy was trying to give the kids ice cream with peanut chips in it. Shanann asked Cindy, what kind of ice cream is that? Cindy said, oh, relax, it's just ice cream. Shanann said, please let me read the ingredients. Cindy told my daughter that she was scary. So the girls walked outside to play with Jamie, Chris's aunt, which is Chris's sister. So after Shanann got done explaining to Cindy how dangerous nut allergies is to the girls, ignoring Shanann. Shanann went outside. Jamie walked in. So the girls walked back in and Shanann walked in the kitchen, noticed a large bowl of nuts now sitting on the kitchen table. And it wasn't there before. So Shanann called me and explained everything. She said, Mom, I'm being double teamed. And I said, what? She told me everything. But when she told me about the razor blades, I said, what? She changed the subject really quick because my daughter knows I would have been there and caused a big scene. I love my family, protection. I said, Dad's on his way. She got home here and was besides herself. I was furious along with her that someone that you trust would try to get a child sick or die feeding them peanuts, razor blades. Shanann told 4 people this: me, Frank, Sandra, Goranda, and Nikki. She called Chris that night and she was so upset. Chris said he would handle it. So Shanann didn't ever go back again to see them. So this was Sandy's version of Nutgate. What do you guys think? I think that you're going to notice that the stories are like one way, the Bruchaks lean one way and then the Watts lean the other way. And this was Sandy's version of what exactly happened. So now let's go on to Frank's version of what happened. Hold on a second. Let me get it back. I'm going to have this video up on my website so that you can just watch it straight through and you won't be interrupted by my voice if you don't want to hear me talking about it. Okay, so that was the letter that Sandy wrote. And so next we're going to look at Frank. And this is a closer look at Frank Bruchak's, Shanann's Watts' father. In his initial interview with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI, Frank Bruchak made a noteworthy statement. Within the first 4 minutes, he alluded to an event referred to as Nutgate. Here are the specific words he used. This will be an audio of Frank talking about his version of what happened with Nutgate. If you guys could give this live a thumbs up, it helps me dance out into the algorithm and bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's so appreciated. Let me see if anyone's saying anything in the chat. Oh, hi, sweet crazy. How are you? Happy second day of Livemas. I'm going to attempt to do 25 days of live. All right, so going back to Frank. This is Frank's interview with the CBI.
Dana came out for 6 weeks with the girls. They were going back and forth from our house to his house, his mother's house.
Okay.
Um, and the little Celeste had allergies to nuts,
Mm-hmm.
tree nuts. Very allergic to them. Very allergic to them. She had 2 EpiPens she had to carry with her. So she told us all, get rid of anything that's got nuts or any, just get it up high enough. Don't gotta throw it away. Just get it out. No problem. My wife cleaned the whole house out. I mean, I had to go looking for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She took underneath every cabinet. So she told Chris's parents the same thing.
I think it's important to note with Frank, he's saying, she's not saying throw it away. She's just saying put it out of reach of the children, which I think is very reasonable.
They did go over her house a couple times, and Chris's mom really never got along with Shannon because she took her son away from him. That's how we took it. They didn't come to her wedding, their engagement party. They didn't come to nothing to theirs. Um, so when Shannon was over, I think it was the second week she was there, the weekend. She had called me up frantically and said, "Get me the hell out of here now." Um, the mother had nuts all over the place, and
Hold
there.
on a second. Sweet crazy, I would love that. I was going to say during my live today, if anybody's out there and they want to come join me and do a live on one of these 25 days, I am wide open to it. So um, I don't know how to you can email me. How about it if you email me at parawomenradio@gmail.com, and we'll work something out. Okay. Why did she throw a fit over vanilla ice cream though? I don't know. These are one of these things that I wish that she were alive so that we could clarify. The only thing I could think of is she thought like it was made and she wanted to look at the ingredients to see where it was made, because I think on the box it will tell you if it's made in a facility with nuts. And also people have said that Thrive, it's made with, and it's not made with, but I think it's made in the same facility as um, nuts. But then I thought too, like, uh, nut allergies are so weird. You can be allergic to one nut and not the other nut. And I did Google, like, can you be allergic to one tree nut and not another tree nut? And you totally can. You can. So I don't know. I wish she could Shanann could tell us what she was thinking, but we we just have to go by the evidence of what we have. Um, Sandy, I have Sandy at the end, and Sandy has a lot to say, as you imagine. Sandy's, I think, talks about 16 minutes about she. I have an interview she did about the Nutgate. So let's go back into Frank.
All warned. She was there a week prior and told her to make sure this way. Um, so the mother at that time, Shannon was feeding the girls some hot dogs for lunch and all this, and she had her other two nieces and nephews over, and they came out with ice cream with all these nuts in it, and so ended up being, Shannon and her had little words, and Shannon said no, and she called me up and said, "I gotta go. We just had a blowout because you know she's got nuts on the table, nuts on the in the cabinet right there, open for this little girl." And she said, "No, I'm done." And so she told Shannon, "Well, that's just a training lesson or something like that to her." You know, I'm like, that's not a it's a 3-year-old girl you're talking.
I will say this: I do agree with Cindy in that a child should not have everything that she wants. I'm not really sure about feeding children different things in front of each other. Um, in my experience, that doesn't go over too well. Um, but I do believe that children shouldn't get everything they want.
To. It's not something you're trying to, discipline. Birthday present. Hey, your sister's getting a birthday present today. You're not getting one because it's not your birthday. That's some kind of, saying this is what you do.
Right.
So Shannon called Chris and told Chris.
I will say too that I feel like Cece was a handful. You know, she was a handful. You can see in the videos she was a handful, and I think they caved to Cece quite a bit because she was a handful.
Chris about it. So Chris said he called his parents that night, and his mother told him the same thing. That's what we heard. I didn't hear it, but that's what Shannon had said. So of course Shannon never went back to the house with the children. She stayed at our house.
Okay, so that was Frank's version of it. I think that, I don't know. I guess it just goes to what you believe and what you don't believe. And I do believe that this was over. This was made bigger than it really was. I don't know if I believe there were nuts on the table, but I do think that she probably did give her other grandson something that Cece wasn't going to be able to have. And I think that that's where it all went downhill from there. Okay, so the next is Ronnie Watts. Okay, so Ronnie, I have a hard time understanding Ronnie. So what I've done is I found a video where they have it typed out what he's saying. And I put, but you don't have the video, you can't see him. So I've added a video up at the top where he's talking, and then down below is a video with the words that he's saying, because I don't know about you, but I cannot understand what Ronnie is saying. He's one of those people where I have to really focus on like lean in and be like, what is it he's saying? Okay, so meet Ronnie Watts. On the night that Chris Watts confessed, Ronnie sat down for an interview, and within minutes, he was talking Nutgate.
She was selling cars at the same time. They both had the same place, but she was a good salesman.
Yeah.
She did.
Did they have any money issues?
Not to my knowledge.
They never talked about anything like that?
He said they didn't need that big ass house they was in because they didn't need all that stuff, but I think she's doing now selling that fly, label stuff, whatever, because that's what they,
I know this house isn't part of Nutgate, but there's a lot of talk about the house. And I feel like Ronnie and Cindy really just didn't approve of the big house. They didn't see a need for it. They're very salt of the earth kind of people. And I think that they felt like maybe they were putting on airs and they didn't like it. But with that, I say, to each their own. Let people do what they want to do. It's none of my business what size house you have. For me, I am actually looking to purchase a little house. I want to do, I'm in sustainability. And I actually believe that family, had it been allowed to live, might have went the sustainability route. Yeah, I like Ronnie too. Ronnie is a very likable person. He really is.
I knew you made pretty good money in all that stuff. I said, I think she's like top 30 or 35 in the company. So I said, well, he said she's one of us pretty much making what he was making. So that was over the last couple of years, and she's building up big. Like I said, she's
right here. I always wonder, what is she saying? I think, thrive. Okay, I always wondered, he must have admired Shanann's ability to be a saleswoman. She was a very good saleswoman, because why would he be bringing this up, right?
She's a saleswoman.
Yeah.
How much contact
My heart breaks for them all too. I actually see all of them. I don't agree with trashing Shanann now that she's passed. But I do believe that just because they tell some truths are not trashing. So that's how I look at that.
All time of the year, because we fly out here to see the grandkids and stuff. And, my wife from here, when Cece was born, and helped with that and stuff. And they were down. She came to North Carolina 6 weeks ago, 6 7 weeks ago, whatever. and then he was coming the last week of the vacation thing. And her and my wife had fallen out twice, because her parents live about 30, 40 miles from us.
Oh, sweet crazy. Do we have questions? Do we have questions? I would actually love to interview the Watts, but I wouldn't give them the easy questions, so I don't think they would allow me to interview them. But I'm also very fair with people when I interview people.
Okay.
So they,
Where do they live at?
Aberdeen sometimes. Right about Pine Horse Golf Course. She was just hard to get along with though. She was there with us for a few days and stayed with them for 3 days and stuff. And I bought a trampoline for kids, another pool and all this stuff, and another TV and everything, so they'd have, you know, things to play with and everything while they were there. And the first time she came over, I mean, they got along 3 or 4 days always on the last day. She told her that morning, she said, well, I got to go get my hair done. My next door neighbor and I get some flowers for him and stuff and come by where I work at. It's a super dealership. He signs paper on the car was buying. And he said, we're going to take you back home now, or you can wait this afternoon. No, let's wait this afternoon. And she said, okay. So we got her hair done and stuff. We got flowers, showed up at my place, and realized she got her phone at the hairdresser. So my daughter was getting done the same place, so she went to get it and bring it up to my work. And by that time she texted me. In other words, she sent me that, my wife. That's my personal surname. And so she's got here something.
Now, this hairdresser incident, can you tell me, does anyone know, this happened the day of Nutgate, or was it the weekend of Nutgate? Was this the day before Nutgate, or was this the day of Nutgate? Well, you should come over to Dave's there and chat with us pretty much every time, seeking the truth. Oh yeah. Oh, are they still over in Dave? Yeah. I think I will, because I would love to interview them. But did this happen? Do you know, Sweet Crazy? Did this happen the day of Nutgate or the day before Nutgate? Day of.
The paperwork, she said, well, I've been here 5 hours with these kids by myself. No, they should have said, they're good kids, you know. She wanted us to have my wife in tears in the finance office. Fussing at her because she wasn't there. You know, take care of the kids and shit. Yeah. But she went going home that night. Her daddy come got her. She was all pissed off about that.
Oh, okay. So it was that night.
She called at night and said, my wife asked me, what are you going to do? She said, just let it go. I mean, she said, you don't want to hear her mouth when she gets back. She said, like that. And the second time she come to see us,
this part right here I don't like, that when he says he didn't want to hear her mouth. I don't like when people talk to other people like that. It's degrading.
What it is. And I got 2 other grandkids, Dalton and Dylan, live there, about 20 miles from us. They're 10 and 7, and Cece and Bella are 4 and 3. And you know, they all there playing together, had fun in the pool and stuff, all that stuff.
One of my favorite videos of Cece is when she's out there with Ronnie playing on the trampoline. I put it with the Golden Hour song, and it just makes me cry. My own videos make me cry.
My other grandchild went there and get some ice cream on the refrigerator. And which ice cream had been in there all week, up at a higher level, which some of it had nuts in it, so we needed to keep it up there. And it's one of those single serving things type deal. Yeah. And my other granddaughter got one. And Cece started crying and stuff, and she went all over saying, it wasn't fair that one could have it, the other one couldn't have it type deal, and all this type of stuff. And she went stomping off, and somebody later was going, you're just trying to kill my child. To my wife, she was trying to kill the child. And my wife said, you really think I would try to hurt one of your children, type deal stuff. And she ended up leaving and not coming back for the next 4 weeks, and then no contact with her, 15 grandkids, and nothing else. Okay. I mean, that was, 5 or 6 weeks ago, type deal. But she was just, like I was all the time, she said she has these mood swings and stuff, and she just said I don't realize how unstable she was.
Who said that?
My son did.
When did he say that?
That was one of his talking about, a few days ago, whatever. And that's the way she is. She's just bipolar, 0 to 16, no time.
And when did you first start hearing about that?
Well, I've seen that before, just like that with the ice cream deal. I mean, she was fine, and all of a sudden come back screaming at my wife. You're just trying to kill my child and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just little things like that, really nothing much to it.
So, I mean, with that in mind, how was their relationship in your opinion?
Well, my son told me a few weeks ago, he said he just didn't love her anymore. And he told her that he wanted to get, but he was going to tell her that he wanted to get a separation when she did that before they come back from the beach this last time. So, when I was down there, we was at Myrtle Beach, there was that North Myrtle Beach, Park, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So that was Ronnie. I feel like Ronnie and Cindy have grown these 5 years, and it makes me happy that they are growing. And I feel like they were in like a lot of denial in the beginning, but now I hear Ronnie and Cindy say that Chris is where he belongs to be, where he belongs, where he should be. Ugh. Yes, CW is disgusting. Chris Watts is actually the only one that I am not kind to. I feel like he deserves no mercy. So this is Parawomenradio, and we're going through the Watts case, Nutgate. We have heard what Sandy has to say about it. We heard what Frank has to say about it. That was Ronnie. We heard what Ronnie had to say about it. And now we're going to listen to an interview that I found with Cindy. And she has the most to say about it. I actually have saw Cindy. Cindy has talked about it quite a bit. But this was the video that this was the interview that I thought really was the best. So this is Parawomenradio. If you could give this live a thumbs up, it helps me dance out into the algorithm. And hey, if you want to, please share it. It helps me. It's just a free way to help me out.
Had a problem with nuts and ice cream and razor blades laying all over the house.
So that was the first weekend she was there. And we had a great time Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it wasn't, let me back up. The very first day that they came, I showed Shanann and everyone to the room. And
when I was doing this video, I found that picture of Chris Watts, and I thought, oh my gosh, he looks just like Bella. And so I had to put them side by side. It's just amazing how much Bella looks like him. And that's the thing too, is you can see here, even Chris, he barely has any hair right here. Same hairline as Bella. And I just think that there is no doubt that Bella was his child. Yeah, I do believe that the razor blades were to clean the stove. I've seen people do that before.
She went straight to some chocolate that I had laid out that was from Christmas. I forgot I had it out there. And she got into it. And I was showing Shanann and to her bedroom. And Cece came in there with a mouthful of chocolate. Her mouth, she unwrapped.
See, I liked this video because we get a little more about the topic of Nutgate. Like we see like Cindy's confusion, and I'm confused about it too. People ask me, I can't tell you why she went crazy, but she did. And you can tell that neither one of them had a good relationship, and the time together was just building.
12 Hershey kisses in a matter of a minute, and her mouth was full of chocolate.
Oh my goodness.
And I thought, oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh my God, she's allergic to chocolate. And Shanann laughed. And I thought, oh my God, she's not allergic.
How
She's not
long?
allergic because I sent them special chocolate for Easter because they couldn't have chocolates that were Hershey Kisses or any of these things. So I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word.
I don't
Really
think.
never got along with
Oops.
Shannon because she
Ooh,
took her
shit,
son
it
away.
went back. I don't think that it's crazy that she would confide in Cindy, only because of the fact that that's her mother-in-law. Like, I have a mother-in-law, an ex-mother-in-law, but I loved my mother-in-law, but she did drive me crazy. She, she's a mother-in-law.
Day chocolate.
Yeah.
Hold on, I moved.
Hyped up on sugar by then, huh?
Yes. Oh my God.
Hold on.
That's correct.
So she had to kind of control what chocolates you gave her?
Yeah.
Or what candies, I guess.
And that's why we sent special.
From what I can gather about having to control the candies, I think she just wanted to control because, again, the facilities, you don't know what's being done at the facilities. So that's the only reason I can think of that she would want special chocolates.
A special chocolate approved by Serena for Easter.
So she said
I
that.
didn't know it would be Hershey Kisses. Hershey
That's very
Kisses
true.
was something that anyone could eat.
I have a story, a mother-in-law story. When I was getting married, when I was getting married, I got married when I was 35, so I was older in life, and my mom was only giving me a certain amount, like $1,000, and I don't know how much she was going to chip in, but she wouldn't chip in with, it had to be what she wanted to chip into. It wasn't like she wouldn't just give me the money and let me decide where the money goes to. It had to be like her deciding like what she will pay for and what she will not pay for. And it was getting frustrating for me. And so I wrote a letter, typed an email to my mom, and I sent it, and it went out into a group email, and everybody in the wedding party heard what I had to say. It was just insane. Luckily, before I had sent the letter, I had kind of like thought, well, I had deleted some of the stuff and I put easier words in there, which I'm so grateful I did do that. But yeah, and I screamed out loud. He called me downstairs and he was like, Amy, did you send this out? And I looked and I was like, how'd you get this? And he was like, and I screamed. I literally screamed. I was like, oh my God. So yeah. Wedding time is a very stressful time for families, I would say.
Dixie had it all over her mouth, and she was the happiest kid in the world.
Probably hyped up on sugar by then, huh?
Yes. Oh my God, she had it all over her mouth, and I was thinking, oh my God, I forgot. I did not put the Hershey Kisses up, and Shanann was laughing about it, and I knew then that she wasn't allergic.
So she would let her have some chocolate, but not all chocolate. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't think she could have any except a certain kind of chocolate. And it was the chocolate that I ordered on Amazon that was approved by her.
So the expensive chocolate she could have, but not the everyday chocolate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible, because I don't think allergies work that way,
I don't think they do either.
But hindsight's 20/20, I guess. Oh my goodness, that's incredible. So she didn't grab an EpiPen and try to play drama. She didn't call 911. She didn't say, "Oh my goodness, she's allergic to chocolate." She stood there laughing.
No.
She just stood there laughing.
I said, "Oh my God!" And then I saw Shanann laughing, and of course I knew then that she wasn't allergic.
That's just incredible. And I think that at that point, then Shanann must not have realized that she just got caught in one of her lies.
No, she didn't. She did not.
So, okay, tell us the truth, Cindy. Did you have razor blades laying all over the house that day?
No, there was one razor blade. It was to clean the stove, and that was it. Just to clean the stove. That stove top that we just got this stove, and you have to scrape it to get the stuff off. That was the only razor blade that was there.
So that was like a scraper.
I grew up with an Amana stove, and we had a razor blade for a scraper.
It was a scraper?
I think that she probably put two together and got like 50 because of Ronnie's past substance abuse.
It was, the scraper. That was it. That was the only razor blade. There were no other razor blades except Ronnie's razor in the bathroom, and that was it. There were no razor blades.
Did she say anything to you about razor blades laying all over the house when she was having her?
No.
No?
No one said anything. No one said anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
She did not.
Yeah.
She did not.
Razor blade.
Now tell us about the ice cream. The stories we hear are there were peanuts or pistachios or sprinkled or cones or cups.
There was a bag of pistachios that I had for my grandson, and they were on the countertop, and she said, "Oh my gosh, Mimi, you have pistachios." I said, "I know. Put them on top of the stove."
Yeah.
And she put them on top of.
I know what you're talking about. I even know that squeezy bottle and the smell too. The smell of it's like a chalky.
Not on top of the stove, but on top of the refrigerator. And that was the end of it. It was a bag that was unopened for my grandson that I forgot that I had on the countertop. And that was all it was. And there was no bags of peanuts, tree nuts, or anything out in the open. My house is small. So small that wherever Bella and Cece were, I mean, you knew where they were. I mean, they were right there. We have a very small house, and there is no way anybody could have gotten into anything, not even my refrigerator, without me knowing.
Well,
I was always right there.
Well,
I always wondered too, like how big was the kitchen and was the razor blade anywhere accessible? Like, did Cece even see the razor blade?
Give the girls ice cream.
I gave, Dylan went in the freezer and got a vanilla ice cream, a Walmart vanilla ice cream. And, Dylan did get that.
Yeah.
And that was the big culprit, was the Walmart vanilla?
That was the culprit. That was when...
I do think that's what happened. And she could have gotten up and said, "Come on, Cece, let's go get you something," or even made a bigger deal. "Let's go get you something really special," but that didn't happen.
Cece had a meltdown and wanted the same thing, but Cece could have had ice cream because we went to Walmart when they came here, and she had ice cream, not in the same cup, but she had ice cream, and she could have gotten that ice cream. And yes, I did say that.
I think she probably wasn't.
You can't always have what you want.
Hold on a second. I think she probably wasn't going to say anything about the razor blade because she probably knew it was to clean the stove. But then in the heat of the anger, I think she threw that in. Sounds like what she was really pissed off about. Mad about was that she was left there all day alone without being able to leave. That wouldn't have made me happy to be there all alone, even though it's her children and, she has every right, she has to watch them. I don't know, leaving her all day alone. I don't agree with that, but.
Say that, because Cece had the ice cream that
Right,
sold.
right,
That was it.
and that's right.
That's all she had to do, and nothing would have come of it.
And you took her to Walmart, right? And you spent a ton of money
Yes,
so
I
that
did.
she could have exactly what she wanted
I,
there.
absolutely. When they came down here, I said, let's go to Walmart and get everything that you need. And they got everything they wanted and they needed. Everything. There was
I
nothing.
sometimes wonder if Nutgate hadn't happened, would the murders have happened? Was this just like more fuel to the fire? Or it just really didn't matter. It was going to happen no matter what.
Nothing that I don't know what I could have done.
So at the point that
This
you're
is all I could have done.
at the point that the ice cream started happening, then
Cindy could have said, come on, Cece, let's go get your ice cream. We bought you special ice cream. Either one of them could have done it.
daughter-in-law could have
They were
gone
both
to the
fighting.
freezer, picked out the ice cream that was on her approved list,
Absolutely.
and scooped
Could
out.
have gotten her
You
a
do?
little. She could have gotten her the ice cream. That's all she. I mean, there was nothing.
He has said that. What does Dave's channel think about NK? Do they think NK had anything to do with it, or do the Watts think that NK have? I know this is off topic, but I've always wondered that.
She couldn't have had that she didn't already have in our house. She had everything that
It
they
did.
needed, and I did the best we could. That's all.
They
I don't know how else
desperately
I could have
needed
done it.
some family counseling, and it would have been worthwhile to do that.
So when
Yeah.
the ice cream came out, your daughter-in-law started yelling.
Yeah. She said, I know that this isn't fair. I know this is hard for you, Stacey. And she went on and on and on and on. And that's when I said, you can't have everything that you want. Go back in there. Go get her the ice cream she needs. That she wants. That was it. I mean, I don't know what else I could have done.
What did she say to you before she left?
She said, she came charging down the hallway and said, you tried to kill my child. And then that's when it was over. I was done. I said, I can't take this anymore. I didn't try to kill anyone. I didn't try to do anything. I didn't.
Tell us about how the kids were hiding.
When all the arguing was starting, it was Dalton and Dylan said, Adela was scared, and she said, I don't want to leave. I want to stay with you guys.
Oh my goodness.
And Dalton and Dylan said, hide behind the dollhouse.
This breaks my heart.
And she hid.
So she was hiding from her own mom so she wouldn't have to leave and go with her?
Yeah, she didn't want to leave, and she wanted to stay because she loved Dalton and Dylan. Oh my gosh, she loved playing with them, and so did Stacey.
I'm sure Bella hid too, because you could tell she wasn't one that did well around conflict. She was also always just a nervous little girl anyway.
They were having a great time.
It looked like they were having a blast.
Playing with the dollhouse and playing in the pool, trampoline, all of it. They were having a good time. But
why do you think she became so angry so quickly? What do you think her problem was?
Because Jamie came over and dropped Dalton and Dylan off, and that's when everything changed. When Dalton and Dylan were dropped off, and Jamie had to go back to work, and everything changed after that. It was.
Had she seen Jamie? Since I know we've heard stories about how she fired Jamie from the bridal party?
No, I mean, Jamie was ordering drives of her. Jamie was getting along fine with her. That's what I'm talking about. You don't know with Shanann. It was whiplash. It was one minute she was okay, and the next minute she wasn't.
So-
And that's what was so disturbing. You didn't know how to take her anymore.
So when she left, we've heard people say that she said that the girls would never step foot in your house again. Did she say that to you?
Yes, she did. She absolutely did.
That must have been heartbreaking.
It was.
I feel like Cindy is a person that if you fight with her, she doesn't get over the fight and go back. You have to have a discussion and work it out. You can't just like have a fight and not talk about it. She seems like the type that would want to talk it out. And so she goes on in this video, and I'll put the link to the video down below, but she goes on and says that she wishes that she had went to Cece's birthday party. That was like one of her biggest regrets, which is understandable because that would have been like one of the last times she probably would have seen Cece. So yeah, I think Shanann was the same way, except for the fact that if they had showed up to the birthday party, I don't think she would have like done like egged her on or anything. I don't know. We'll never know because she wasn't allowed to live. And I have to say that I don't know. I think that both sides embellished and both sides went from 1 to 100 really quickly, and they weren't ducks. They did not let things roll off their backs. But family drama is so difficult. I have family drama, and it's so difficult to deal with. And it's one of the most painful things to deal with because you're fighting with people that you love. You think that she would have just ignored them. I think she would have too. And I think that would have been okay. But it didn't happen. You can always say that you wish you should have, could have, did this, and you didn't. And so this is Parawomenradio, and that was Nutgate. We went grandparent style. We saw what Sandy had to say about it, what Frank had to say about it, what Ronnie had to say about it, and what Cindy had to say about it. And I think they all had their own narrative, and that's what's happening. If they had only gotten into some counseling, I think they would have learned how to speak to each other better. But my BA is in social psych. I'm all for it. I'm all for that kind of stuff, and it's needed in families that fight. But that's all I have today. Let's see. I do wish that they would have still gone to the wedding and the birthday party for sure. Even the wedding, and even if they didn't have anything to do with it, they should have been there for Chris. Absolutely. They should have been there for Chris. I can't even imagine having a wedding day where part of the family has boycotted it. So, you see the pictures on the wedding day, and I see a hint of sadness in their faces. But would I have seen the hint of sadness if I didn't know the story? I don't know. I do not know. But this has been Parawomenradio, and I'm Amy. I have started the Patreon page, and over on Patreon, we're going to talk about Ava Braun and her great love, Hitler. Actually, Ava Braun, when she died, was Ava Hitler. So we're going to be talking about Ava Hitler over in Patreon. I don't think this is something that YouTube will allow to be shown and the way I want to show it. So if you're interested in joining my Patreon, I have it. I'm going to put it down in this description, and I hope you do. Thank you, Sweet Crazy, for being here with me. When I have people in the chat, it makes the lives go by much faster and much easier. And so I do appreciate it. Let's make sure that I said everything I wanted to say about this. Was day 2 of my 25 days of Christmas. Oh, Feel Good University has been launched, and I am a medical, how do I say this? I don't know how to say it on YouTube yet, but I am a medical watering the grass patient, and I transitioned off of all my prescribed narcotics over to that, and that I'm kind of telling my journey over in Feel Good University, talking about my mental health, the fun things I like to do in Florida, stuff like that. And I'll put that down there if you want to join me over there. We're going to be talking about Lori Vallow, more about the Watts case. I have Ava Braun. We're going to talk a little bit about her over here. I want to do the Gypsy Rose and Eugenie Cooney. I want to show those two stories together. And of course, the Sarah Boone, we're going to be talking about her going through the body cam footage on Sarah Boone, because Sarah Boone I am covering live. I'm going to start going to her court cases because I'm in Florida and I'm not that far from her. Yeah, I always say that. Oh, wow, we are still a lot like dude, but I'm still on them. Yeah. So, okay, guys, that's all I have today.
Angel flew down to a tiny house on the edge of hell. Ain't no garage or a swimming pool, just a sad old friend who thinks he's cool.